Hi. So I wanted to share. I'm kind of excited because I am at the beginning of basically whatever this is. I guess it's like planning some stuff for the year, setting some goals, goal setting, mapping out. I'm not really sure what to call it yet. Um, but this is like the overall thing for setting the goals that I have for this year, right? So I wanted to share, and I'm kind of excited about where it's going, and how it's starting out because it really just kind of came to me, right? And so some of the questions that I was pondering really helped me to expand into goals for worship because it seems like an easy thing to be able to plan, oh, this project I want to have done this year. Oh, I want to buy a house. Oh, I need a promotion. Oh, I need to make more money. Oh, I want to better relationship with my significant other. But when it comes to setting goals for uh God, like, it's kind of hard because you can't see, smell, taste, or touch God particularly, but you can through other aspects in your life, right? So what I ended up doing was, okay, in what ways does my worship touch other people? Because the only way I'll know about the how I've executed my relationship with God or how well I've conducted myself under God is through my interactions with other people, right? And so I came up with this list. And so my first gratitude, obedience, and direction and devotion is basically what I would consider the essence of God. So a lot of the time, if you ever see that I've written God in all caps, it is not just the personification of God that our human selves connect with to find some way to connect with something that is beyond and bigger and greater than us, but allows me to very well and very easily connect to God in the sense that, like, oh, that essence is all around me all the time, right? And it's not as far from me as I make it, right? That God is all around me in gratitude. God is all around me in obedience. God is all around me in the direction and in my direction and devotion to life, right? And so that part has been really helpful in helping me to understand what having a relationship with God is like and is about, right? And if there are things that don't align in that, then that is not of God. It has allowed me to be more aware of my brokenness, be more aware of the holes and things that needed to be filled and how to fill them. Or if I'm not aware of how to fill them, the references for which I can grasp concepts that allow me to fill in the blanks, right? And I do that through morning and moon pages, um, which are basically opportunities that I give myself twice a day, um, or twice a day, and sometimes, once, depending on the phase of the moon, because moon pages are evening journals that I um, do based off of the moon phases, which, there isn't a different phase for every day. Those phases are, 3 or 4 days long over the span of a month, and then they become cyclical. So some of the topics or some of those prompts for those journal entries may be repetitive, but may challenge me to speak on them in a different way depending on the season for which something new in that theme is makes me more aware that I need to, like, focus on. It's a new focus for this season. So, and those morning pages are just opportunities for daily gratitude and devotion that allow me to just be mindful of the moment and the day in the season that I'm in. And so then each of the concepts that I think help to articulate my connection with God and give more substance to being able to say, oh, I want a deeper relationship with God. Well, deepening my relationship with God allows me to be a better woman of God through this. Okay, what does a woman of God, what does a woman of gratitude, obedience, and direction or devotion look like in the language of God that I understand, which is Christianity? So we believe in Jesus Christ. And this can work for any and all other religious practices, just because the language of gratitude, obedience, and direction is not just about Jesus Christ and the Bible, right? This spans across all religions and all spiritual practices, right? Because I think for the overarching essence of all of those practices, those are the three major concepts that allow us to feel connected and productive and inspired and motivated and giving and all of those things, right? So for me, what does a woman of God look like? What does a helpmeet to the man of God look like, right? So it's not just about, oh, let me find my husband, find my man of God, but like, okay, what is a helpmeet, right? And helpmeet is not necessarily a word that has been popular in terms of like marriage in the spirit, but something that I had found to be kind of funny but really cute is that when I was teaching my kids to speak and ask for help, that um, anytime they would ask for help, well, can you help me? Right? And it was turning it, I'm not really even sure how it came out like that, but over time, my daughter especially, whenever she'd ask for help, she'd be like, can you help me? And she would stress the T on the end as if that's what she was hearing me say, which was amazing for me because I'm like, okay, no, that's real. Like, meet me with help, right? Are you able to meet me with your help? And it's not just about asking when I'm in need, but can you meet me, right? And so it gives a sense of alignment. Like, are you able to align yourself to offer your services to me in this moment, in this lifetime, in this season, on this journey? Are you able to meet me with help in the way of gratitude, obedience, and direction as God has given it to you as a man of God? And I say man of God because that is my ideal partner, companion. That's what I believe that God has for me. What God has for you is for you. That's all I got to say about that. Sister of God, like, I am my sister's keeper. What exactly does that mean, right? What am I doing for her to help enliven her and encourage her? What does it mean to be a sister and not just a friend, right? Like, what is that intimacy about? What am I offering to her as her sister through my gratitude, obedience, and direction in the way of being a sister? How am I going to offer my helpmeet? How am I meeting her with help? Because it's not just about meeting my man with help or my man help meeting me with help, right? Aligning myself to do that. But it's how am I aligning myself to be a sister of gratitude, obedience, and direction, or being a mother of gratitude, obedience, and devotion, you know, being a shepherd for God, meaning how am I leading other people in this direction? And how am I being a good steward for the resources, mostly money? Because when we talk about good stewardship, we're really speaking of it in the sense of finances, money, whether that's credit or like cash, you know, but also just in resources because it may not be cash. I mean, it may be credit, but it may not be like, oh, I'll pay you back, promissory note. It may be in the sense in the way of, you know, a purely refined resource. Who has this information, this raw information that can be given, and how am I being a good steward of the rawness of this information, and how am I going to disseminate it in such a way that allows it to bless as many people as I can bless with it? How am I able to do that? Right? And what does a family of God look like? What does a business of God look like? And then how am I using my mindfulness? How am I meditating on the words that I'm on the word that I get from doing these devotionals? Because as I'm looking for definitions, and of course, like I said, my language of God is, Jesus Christ. So we learn through the Bible, which is then my textbook, right? My source of reference for how I am going to gather information for how to become more in tuned and aligned with these facets of who I am, right? And through meditation and studying of this word, clearing my mind and giving a mise en place for the study of the devotionals that I'm using in the word. How am I using mindfulness to be reminded of these things as I'm going through my day and connecting with people as they relate to the hats that I wear all day long, right? And so these are actually specific devotionals that I found in my Bible app that I plan to create a page basically, and a study guide, um, just something that will allow me to keep up with and track my studies here, right? And understanding, okay, what am I actually getting from this information? Where are my notes for this? How am I, and granted, when I first started this, I was filling a lot of this out, and a lot of the information was coming to me so quickly that I have more information that has not populated in these tables yet, but will now that I know like how I'm going to be using it. So this note will be, I tend to handwrite because it's a little bit quicker. I also have audio notes, because I'm being serious about it. I'm taking it as if this is a real class. This is real school. I'm going to be studying, and because of that, I'm going to have some notes. I'm going to be recording the lecture. I'm going to be jotting down notes, and sometimes my handwriting, I need pictures. I need to draw myself a little infographic. I need to jot some little things down. I might type some things up, and so, that's going to populate in here. The pillar that's associated, I mean, obviously it's all going to be in worship, but then there might be some other things that the sub pillars that are associated with it that allow me to really directly understand, okay, this is about stewardship of my money, right? This is about worship. What does God say about stewardship? What does God say about being a woman of God? What does God say about being a helpmeet to your companion, right? To your being the Adam to your Eve, or being the Eve to your Adam, right? And don't go too deeply in terms of the apple and things like that. Aside from, we all make mistakes and we will reap the consequences as well as the benefits, right? And it's not a blame game, but it's the grace because God gave you a partner that is broken. That is the sin, right? So whether it's Adam, Adam bit the apple too, or Eve, it's the fact that now that we are here, we all broken, right? And while it's sexy and really I guess, commendable, noble, beautiful to want to wish upon a star that we will align ourselves with a woman that is beautiful, that keeps her body up, that she got her own money so she don't need yours, and that she keep her house clean, and she decides she want to have 8 kids and 12 sons, and you know what I'm saying, and keep all her daughters up, and they all got 4.0 GPAs and blah 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 whatever. Like, there are women out here that do that and be in Proverbs 31 woman, so she make her own clothes and she got all her own stuff. But also, like, bro, like, you don't think God is in the middle of that? Because every day with one child, like, while you see them highlights on her Instagram where she's always smiling and she's beautiful and her face is made up, or maybe the filter looks really great and she maybe actually only got to wash her face today, or maybe she didn't even get to brush her teeth today, but that filter is just making her skin look extra fucking poppin', when really she haven't changed her clothes since yesterday. She might have been able to change her underwear this morning and brush her teeth with just the toothbrush and not toothpaste, or maybe with some mouthwash and just run the toothbrush in there because she was in a rush, because, right, like, it's a mess. But she finds some way to celebrate herself in some, during the day, to just be like, you know what, let me snap a picture of this life, because I'm never going to get this day back. Regardless of how crazy it's been, I can't get this day back. I can't get this day back, and I would never trade it for another in the world. Thank God. But you gotta understand that there's a backstory to that, and there's a back end of the house, and God is in the back end of that house, bro. Like, if you ain't ready for that, or if you don't have that in your back end, you gonna be looking at her for all the stuff that you see, all her highlights, and be mad for what it takes for her to keep that up for you on the front end, as if you are the consumer and not also part of the staff. Sorry, I got a little triggered in that, but it is what it is. That is why I'm choosing to do and do life like this. Why I want to be more intentional about my connection with God and how I do this. Because it's important to me to align myself in the best way that I can, so that I can provide for my family and not take over the provision that God has given my man of God to give to me, but to provide in the way that God gave me the power to provide. And so, how do I do that and align myself to have a partner, to have a meeting of help, and not just a companion that, keeps my body warm and blah, 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 whatever. Not that that's the forefront of what it is, but, you can't do this alone. And God makes sure that you are not doing it alone, because God comes through people. God is any and everywhere. But you're only going to know that if you are aligned with God in such a way that you align yourself with other people of God. And so then you create your tribe, your village, your circle of influence, which will then guide you and align you with that one companion that God has for you, so that you can actually just enjoy life, because God wants that for you too. So, with that, just tell me what you think, because I'm pretty excited about lining this up. So the plan is I'm going to go through each of these, and I'm going to find maybe 2 or 3 devotionals for each of these areas that I can focus on, and depending on how many days they are, I may go as far as to putting them on the table and just going ahead and filling them in, because for me, if it's already set up and I can just plug and chug, like just go and drop the stuff in, it'll be really easy for me to go. If I have to like stop and like kind of do some things from scratch, it slows me down a little bit. So my next step is to fill the information out with the devotional, timeline and things like that, so that once it gets going, I can just put it right in there and go and then keep my notes and do all of that. So that's where I'm at with that. And once those are complete, then I'll be on to the next set of pillars. The next pillars, and they'll basically be broken down in the same way, and they will have their own associated project timelines and breakdowns of all of how those things are going to get done, content calendars and things like that. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you would like a copy of this template to incorporate into your own dashboard, let me know. I will share a link. Bye.